In today's video, we be talking about one of my favorite films of all time, Disney's The Jungle Book. Let's get into it. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. This is not an official or sanctioned video by any means. All trademarks are recognized and respected. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do not try any of the stunts featured in this video. I grew up watching the 1994 version of Disney's The Jungle Book. It was the first movie that I can remember begging my mom to buy me on VHS, and even though I've seen it countless times, I still know every single word to every single song. I just love it so much. So when I found out they were releasing a new version, I was super excited. Now, because I'm a huge nerd, I obviously had to watch both versions back to back to compare them. While the new version does have some wonderful things going for it, I still think the 90s version is the superior film. Don't worry. This isn't going to turn into one of those videos where it's all like, oh, the old version is so much better. Kids with your newfangled technology and your remakes, you don't know what good music and animation looks like. It's not what this is at all. I still think the new version is great. But if you really want to understand why I think the 90s version is better, then you'll have to hear me out. So let's talk about the plot of each version. Both movies follow the same story beat for beat. Mowgli is a young boy who was raised by wolves after being abandoned as a baby. He lives happily with his wolf family until one day the tiger Shere Khan returns and declares that Mowgli must leave the jungle because he is a man-cub. Mowgli, accompanied by his bear friend Baloo and panther friend Bagheera, sets off on a journey to the human village. Along the way, they have many adventures, meet lots of characters, and ultimately, Mowgli learns about himself and where he belongs. So yeah, same story. Where the two versions differ is in their execution of the story. They both move at a pretty brisk pace, but I found myself getting more emotionally invested in the characters of the 90s version. The reason for this is simple: character development. Every character in the 90s version is given more time to breathe and be themselves. We see this especially with the villain Shere Khan. In the 90s version, we get to actually see him interacting with other characters before he even meets Mowgli. We see him being manipulative and deceitful. When he convinces the monkeys to steal food from the other animals and also witness his cruel and violent side, when he murders the man-eating elephant. Because we see him as more than just a one-dimensional villain, he becomes a lot scarier. To put it simply, the 90s version has more character development and therefore more compelling characters. The difference in tone between the two movies is also quite noticeable. As one previously mentioned, the 90s version has a darker tone due to its more developed villain. But another factor that contributes to this tone is the movie score. The songs and the overall score of the 90s version are just so incredibly catchy, and they stick with you long after the movie is over. One of the first things I ever begged my mom to buy me on cassette tape was the soundtrack for this movie. And as I got older and listened to more music, I realized that many of the songs are actually masterpieces. Bare Necessities is a fun, upbeat tune that has a great message. I Wanna Be Like You is a hilariously over-the-top villain song that makes you root for the bad guys. And of course, there's the classics like the Bare Necessities, Trust in Me and Can You Feel the Love Tonight. The songs of the new version are fine, I guess. I mean, they're definitely better than the 2019 Lion King remake songs. But compared to the 90s version, they just seem dull and generic. Take the Bare Necessities, for example. In the 90s version, it's sung by Baloo while he and Mowgli are swinging through the trees. It's a light-hearted, carefree song that perfectly encapsulates the bond between these two characters. Now, in the new version, the song occurs during a completely different scene. The entire tone of the song changes. Instead of being light-hearted, it becomes somber and depressing. To say I was disappointed would be an understatement. But I think the biggest difference between the two versions comes down to the animation style. Obviously, the newer version is more photorealistic, which I thought was weird when it was announced. Photorealism is a very risky style to go for, especially when you're adapting a cartoon source material. Photorealism makes sense when you're reworking with animated movies based on real animals like The Lion King or Zootopia. But Disney's The Jungle Book is a movie about anthropomorphic animals. The majority of the characters behave and move like humans, so making them look realistic kind of just feels wrong. I think if they went with a more traditional hand-drawn style, the movie would have been so much better. Now, this is not to say that the 90s version is perfect. Oh no, I have many problems with it, but they are far outweighed by the things I love about it. So what are some of the things that the new version did better? Well, for starters, I will say the action scenes are more exciting. A good chunk of the new version consists of some really impressive action set pieces. The fight with the python and the chase scene in the water are probably the most exciting parts of the movie. The 90s version has some action scenes, but they haven't aged quite as well. I also thought the new version did a better job with the portrayal of Kaa in the 90s version. Kaa is played by a very talented voice actress, but the character's design is just so goofy looking that it's hard to take her seriously. In the new version, they took a different approach with Kaa. She's less of a character and more of a force of nature. She's basically a giant anaconda, and I think that's a big improvement. Overall, I just feel that the new version of Disney's The Jungle Book is a missed opportunity. It could have been so much more, but instead, we got this mediocre imitation of the 90s version. That's not to say the movie is bad, though. I mean, there's certainly worse ways to spend 1 hour and 43 minutes of your life, or just other movies that I enjoy more. Now, I'd be doing a ranking of the live-action remakes, because I do think they should even be in the ranking to begin with. It's unfair to the originals, and it dilutes the ranking system. Just remember, if a remake is made, it is automatically placed below the original in the hearts of true fans. No matter how much money it makes or how many Oscars it wins, this is a rule of the Jedi. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.